live event on CFAX and on the BBC website.
You can see that coming a mile off, couldn't you? Now, let's take to the tracks now for the last part of our great little railway journey.
Tonight, Tom is in West Yorkshire, in a town where trains and textiles once went hand in hand.
There's something very exciting about taking a journey on the Keighley and Worth Valley Railway. You step off a mainline train and immediately you're back in a world of enamel signs and period public service. But this isn't just another tourist hotspot. The Worth Valley Railway is still really used by the people of the local community to get around as a means of public transport. And this is the story of how the railway changed the valley forever. In 1867, local mill owners paid for the railway to be built, and the isolated villages of the Worth Valley were connected. The landscape can be quite industrial and bleak, but it's something in a lighter vein that sticks in the mind. This is Oakworth, and exactly 30 years ago this very month, Ian Cuthbertson stepped out of the train and created one of the happiest endings in cinema history ever as the father of the railway children. Well, I don't know if Bernard Cribbins is still on duty, but someone who was here when the original film was made is Graham Mitchell. Hello, Graham.
Hello, Tom.
Can we come in?
Yes, you can. Welcome to Oakworth. Come straight through.
Thank you.
Come in. Good to meet you.
This is a palace of delights in here, isn't it?
Yeah, it's an absolute time warp. And, of course, it's not a reconstruction. It's exactly as built in 1867.
All right, but a few years later than that, you're filming The Railway Children.
Yeah.
Why did they choose here?
Well, the BBC had filmed the black and white version here in 1967, and I think Lionel Jeffries was so impressed by that version that he decided to make the full-colour EMI cinema version here as well.
It is regarded as a definitive classic. Why do you think it sticks in people's minds?
Well, it's got a charm and a magic that's never really been surpassed. An old man who lived up in the village here said to me, "You know why that film is so good? Because it's got no bad language, no drugs, no sex, no folk running around with no clothes on, and above all, none of that their gratuitous violence." I mean, it's really just a morality tale of good and evil, and good in the personification of the old gentleman triumphs, and everything works out in the end.
A lot of people seem to alight at Haworth for just one thing. The main street is full of Bronte this and Bronte that, but below the Wuthering Heights lies the village's charming real character. Haworth graveyard is very evocative, but it holds what you might say is a bit of a dark secret. In 1850, when the village population was expanding, its main water supply was natural springs, and the water for these springs sunk through the ground here. By the time it was drawn off and drunk further down the hill, it was so polluted that the average life expectancy here was only 25 years. The vicious cycle wasn't broken until the railways arrived and reservoirs were constructed, but by that time it was already standing room only. Imagine the excitement when the railway drove its course no more than 100 yards from here. Before that, Eber Mill had been a rather small two-storey affair, fed by a sluice from a small mill pond, which you can still see today. Suddenly, there was a supply of coal available, and overnight, a boiler house and 5-storey mill building sprung up. Jobs, houses and industries followed, and life in the valley would never be the same again. And so to our final destination of these great little railway journeys, Oxenhope. According to the map, there are some great walks across the moor from here. Who fancies a tramp to Sowerby Bridge? Guys? Guys? What do you mean you don't fancy a tramp anywhere? Come on, we've got to get all this kit back. Train anybody?
He's just too enthusiastic. That was the last in the series. I'm sure more will follow.
Paul is here, and Jerry emails in here. Have you noticed how Paul's hair has gone blonde since his holiday? Big spotted, you see.
Have you noticed he can't come up with his own fashion colours either?
I know. There's lemon juice on the hair, that's what I like.
You are look very enough to wear lemon juice.
Yeah.
can't possibly comment on speculation. Thankfully, there's a lot of weather coming up from the southeast, and certainly there's a lot of rain heading for the southeast. You can see on the radar picture. Look at all that rain heading up for Kings Lynn area and for the Hull Beach area as well. For tomorrow, well, it's back to sunshine and showers, but we'll concentrate on that area at the moment. This is the local radar network. You can see these reds pushing up. Those will hit South Lincolnshire in the next few hours. Some heavy rain to come there. So Lincolnshire will be wet tonight. The rain in the north of the area will be quite patchy, but persistent rain around the wash. For the rest of the area tonight and this evening, well, bright for a time, and then we'll see clear spells developing. 1 or 2 showers coming into the west by the end of the night. Quite chilly as well, temperatures around 5 or 6 degrees. For tomorrow then, well, very unsettled indeed. Plenty of sunshine around in the east at first, but we'll see showers from the word way in the west. Those showers will develop and push eastward during the course of the afternoon. Quite cool as well. Temperatures around 15 or 16 degrees Celsius, 16 to 61 Fahrenheit. The pollen count is low. That's good news. The sun index is 3. That means you might burn if you've got fair skin.
Or lemon juice on.
Mr. Greasy 3000 over to you.
Well, from one red coat to another, and from Peter, have a very good evening. Join us again tomorrow if you can. Now back to London for the latest news headlines. Bye-bye.
William Hague has promised that a future Tory government would increase state pensions by at least £5 a week.